Hey traders, Nick Shaheen here, revisiting Novavax. I did a video about a week ago, and it was starting to have is it's tizzy here, and I did a video saying that if it loses this point in time, which was like 111, 112, but that little candle right there, the tail, then it could trigger some sort of an inverse cup and handle with dire targets about as big as this, so somewhere down here. Then I said that it will probably find some support in this cluster and then in this cluster, and sure enough, this cluster has proven its support. In fact, I drew something, and this is a sketch from the video. Yeah, I did that inverse. The ladybug, I call it inverse cup and handle, where this is the downside target, but I said it'll find footing somewhere around here. This is actual snapshot from my prior video. If you've missed it, you can go by watch it. But the point is to reinforce the same message. All right, so if I'm long and I didn't get out yet, I got my cluster of support. In fact, this candle is pretty interesting. So somewhere around 104 is interesting, and they're putting in tails like they want to hold it. But the collection of action is not encouraging yet. So now they lost the edge from a who's in charge of the buying, who's in charge of this chart, the buyers or the sellers. It's more likely the sellers are in charge of it now. So the bounces are more opportunities for them to sell. So just like on a downtrend day in the stock market where every bounce looks like this is it, we bottomed, and then you go to buy the S&P and then suddenly they sell it, and then it makes a lower low and you get stuck in a trend day. So here we have a trend clearly, and this is just a daily chart, so it's not that smart yet. And the only good news is that they are also setting now some higher lows. So now we have energy. Shit's gonna happen, right? So just like here, they were falling in a trend, they had higher lows. Something's gonna happen. Which way it breaks, I don't know which way it breaks, but I know something's going to happen. It is getting tighter. Is there? Or no, there isn't. So it's just price action. So now we have this, and then we have the descending line from above, and something's going to happen. Usually, let's see. Let's drill down. First of all, there's nothing usual about this year, so I shouldn't even finish that statement. Usually nothing, jerk. So first hurdle is this fail, then this fail, and then this fail. So if I catch the breakout here on a trend breakout, I should expect some resistance here. I should expect more resistance up here. So now the decision is, are the sellers going to be able to break through the quote floor that is trying to set itself here, or are the bulls going to use this, whatever you want to call this, floor, in order to break through this lower high trend? Does that make sense? So one of these two has to break, right? And the decision has to come soon, in the next day or two. I'd be surprised if it lasts 2 days. So maybe there'll be a headline. Maybe somebody will tweet that they got more money. So the fundamentals is on you. Me, I hate the fundamentals on this one, but I don't want to root against it anymore. Like I said in my prior video, I was short. I made some money. It was a little tougher than it should have been. And then I decided I don't want to root against it because it's trying to cure people or help people during sickness, so I got out. But I don't like the fact that they reverse split to stay on the board, and they seem like they're in the business of being a public company rather than action. I mean, when you have Novavax, when you have vaccine in the name, you should have a vaccine to your name, and they don't yet. So hopefully this will be the first one and will shut me up forever. And I used to trade it when it was at $12, like years and years ago. I think I wrote it from 9 to 12 thanks to a tip from a friend of mine, and I knew nothing about it. They said you should buy this company, and I did, and made money. And then I bought the dip when it fell down to 80 cents like years ago also. So I'm not against it. I'm just talking about what's going on here in the chart. So it's not exuding confidence, and it needs help to break above. So if I were to be an active trader, I will probably pull an alert here to catch my eye and decide how soon in the process I want to catch it. So here or here depends on if I'm an active trader or not. If I am long from either of these two, I'd probably book anywhere here. because it's going to be difficult. That's a prior accident scene that I want to pay attention to. This definitely for sure. So if you know volume profile, if you don't, make that be your homework. It's like an awesome tool that not enough people use it. So you put volume bars down here. I'm not sure why I still have mine down here. I guess they look good. I never use them down here. But you put volume bars down here. They don't tell you much actionable. And the same information you can throw up here, and then you know where they happened. So this bar, this orange line right there, tells me that this, in fact, was the place where it had the most action for this period of time. And guess where's and it has the second place right next to it. So on the way up, if prices are rallying, it's going to have to go through the first, second, and third place where they have been most active. What does that mean? It's just congestion. So imagine, play it in your head, more buys than sells. That's why stock rallies, right? More buyers than sellers. So it's buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. And then you get to a place where everybody wants to be active. So now the equilibrium hits, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Then the rally tapers. Doesn't mean it dies. It just tapers. Okay, it's something like this happens. It's like a magnetic field, force field. And the problem also is that, actually it's not the problem, it's what helped it on the way down, is the fact that it fell into a similar position, which is down here. It's slightly smaller. So now it's stuck in the vortex right there. So it needs to get out of it. And God help them if they go below it, because then you'd have these two above your head. And this is, now we're talking 1 hour chart. So if you go to a daily, it's a different story. Let me reset. So this is 1 year's worth of data. This is the most active spot, because this whole area hasn't had time to consolidate. It has volumes, but they're so small compared to what goes on down here. I don't know how the reverse split comes into play here. I'm not sure it does. It's outside of the area. So let's go to a 4 hour chart. Let's see here. And zoom out. All right. So you see, to be honest with myself, I probably should zoom in to exclude anything from before this rally. So maybe I'll start here somewhere. So I'll have more honest volume profile. This is probably way more honest because it starts from the bottom, but what if I exclude all of it? Boom, look how the picture changes completely. Look. So this includes from here on up. So this is pretty honest. Pretty honest volume profile. We had it right. We had two peaks, and the biggest peak above it, and the current peak where it's stuck is the second biggest cluster of volume. So bulls and bears love it here. Bulls and bears love it even more up here, which is a problem. The reason why the fact that they love it here is holding it here. So now if they fall through, look at what lies below. More action that is not outside of the value area. So consider this a sandbox, and they're about to fall out of the sandbox, and it's harder to get back into the sandbox. That's why they were working so hard not to fall out of it. Hopefully that explains kind of what the volume profile does. I know it's stupid layman's term, but I'm not a Wall Street guy. I'm an engineer who figured this shit out on his own. So if you have any questions, message me down below. I know it's going to be active. People love these stocks, so let's go.